A few months ago, I made a video about Dean, the content creator whose house was broken into and was basically ransacked and took a lot of his valuable Pokemon cards. Well, fast forward, now his shop was broken into as well, and they took everything out of that too. Well, not everything, but it seemed like most of the valuable stuff. So I want to talk about this because this has become a real problem, not only for him, but in Pokemon in general. Last live stream I did talk about a shooting that happened at a Pokemon vending machine, and this stuff is getting really outrageous. People are getting shot, homes are broken into, people are getting beat up. There's YouTube channels revolved around all of this, and this is absolutely ridiculous. Dean, I'll have the link down to the description of his video. He needs no introduction based on my view and subscriber count compared to his. But I want to talk about this because this type of stuff continuously happens and it always piqued my interest on how this stuff continues to happen and why this probably will never stop. Look, listen, I I feel for Dean. I really do. This guy made a very good YouTube channel around these cards. He has his own store, doing this thing in the UK, having a great time doing the content that he loves. Unfortunately, the way that things are in this economy, in the Pokemon card economy, some people just don't want to see you do good. Some people just want to have what you have, and these items are very valuable. So you got to keep your head on a swivel and keep things secure. Unfortunately, that was not the case for him when he got his home broken into. And I don't know what type of security measures he had for his house. I'm sorry, for his store, but apparently they got in there as well. Now, I looked at the video. There are some things that are still intact, some things that are pretty valuable that's still there. So I don't know what to extent the extent that they took some things, but I take it was the more high price stuff. Yet again, making me believe that somebody who did this knows him, or somebody who did this has been in his store. Now, it got personal when somebody broke into his home. I firmly believe somebody broke in there that knew him, and I think they probably laid low, probably even went to the store after the home break in to look around and see if they can get what they can get. And now they broke into his store. Now, I'm not saying that I know anything. I'm not saying that the same person did this, but it's starting to seem a little suspicious that that's the case. I would not be surprised at this point. Unfortunately, this type of thing is going to continue to happen. Also, like I was looking at some of the comment section of his video. I also looked at what they were saying in the video, asking like, is there going to be like some high priority on any of these type of thefts or whatever the case may be. I don't know how things are in the UK, but I know here in the US, you're probably just going to be looked at just like any other person who deals with the robbery or theft. They're not going to put any high priority on this stuff, and it may put, you can make a case it may be even a lower priority because the stigma of Pokemon cards are these cards are for children. You see grown men, making complaints about these cards. They're not gonna, it's gonna be not so high on the totem pole. Also, the fact that these are, to law enforcement, they're just cards in general. They're gonna just suck it up to like, okay, you can get some more, or we know that they're valuable, but we feel like there's other things to worry about that's maybe higher on the totem pole. The only way I see this is actually getting worse, unless, well, getting better for law enforcement to pay attention. Either somebody very prominent is going to have to get robbed, or somebody's going to have to get like really injured. You got to understand they had a robbery at gunpoint in New York, and when they took like $100,000 worth of these Pokemon cards, and you haven't heard nothing since. So somebody's going to probably end up having to get seriously hurt, or you're going to have a situation where somebody prominent that has a big name, and is going to cause some type of outrage amongst people that are outside of this community to actually say something. Now, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not a type of person that's in the Pokemon community. I don't collect none of the stuff. It may look like I do, but I collect video games. That's all I do. I'm not into the Pokemon stuff, but this type of stuff is kind of tied to video games, and I'm the type of person I'm basically tied into crime and true crime and stuff. I mean, I went to school for it, so those are the type of things I'm kind of drawn to. So it kind of intertwines my interest together. So I don't know too much about the community, but I do know that look, this is a situation where you probably want to be on the totem pole that is way at the bottom of it, and people are just gonna look at it like, okay, yeah, you lost a lot of money, but this stuff is for children. I mean, that's how it's perceived. I'm not saying that it is, but that's how it's perceived. I mean, my son, he started looking into Pokemon cards for a little bit, and he got a couple of them. He thought it was cool, and he just went on to the next thing. Like right now, his big thing is like putting Legos together. He likes to build stuff. So I don't know how that's going to. I don't know how it works in the world of children that's under the age of 10. I do see some that are actually catching on and collecting, but for the most part, every time I look around, it's always somebody grown dealing with these Pokemon cards, and they're having all these situations where people are getting robbed, people are getting hurt, people are getting into fights, people getting guns drawn out on them. It's really sad at the end of the day. I look at it like this: you guys need to be careful with this stuff. You don't. I don't know what to say about him. Which I'll get into that in a second. But you guys just need to be careful. If you're into this stuff, please put your eyes, keep them open when they're closed. Even when they're closed, keep your eyes open. Keep your head on the swivel. Look around. Make sure that you're not, being followed when you go to these conventions or anything like that. Or when you're buying any of these products, when you're trying to purchase them from a private person, be very careful because this stuff is absolutely ridiculous. As far as Dean, he may need to get up out of this business, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, this Pokemon thing is just not for him. He just got a stroke of bad luck. I mean, his house broken into, now your store is being broken into. I don't know what he's gonna do. If all of this is playing out like you would think it would, like he's actually getting robbed left and right, um, he may need to look for a different profession, man. And it really, really sucks because it should not be this way. But this is what you have to deal with when you are dealing with high price items. Or whether if it is just Pokemon cards. I mean, you can do if you were dealing with jewelry, it'd be the same thing. If you're dealing with any other type of big time collectible, you have to deal with that. I mean, in some instances, I know like Pink Gorilla. Shout out to Pink Gorilla. And that store. I always look on X or Twitter. It's been a time where they've always been getting robbed up there in the Washington area. They've been breaking in the stores and stealing video game stuff. I thought that was kind of crazy, right? People don't go out the video, but it happens. So when you have these type of things going on, you have to be careful. Like I said, down here in Georgia, there's been a string of them within the past 4 to 5, maybe 6 months, and some of them happened back to back within weeks or days at a time. So I wouldn't be surprised if stuff is coordinated, orchestrated, or whatever the case may be. But this is happening over there in the UK with Dean, and he is, I don't know where do he go from there. I mean, this is insane. I mean, it's kind of crazy for him to go through this, but I don't know where else to go with that. You guys let me know what you think. I mean, look, be careful. That's all I got to say. Just be careful if you're out there. You guys, this is a really cool hobby. Honestly, you can make a lot of money off of it. These are some great looking cards and everything, but sometimes you may need to be careful, and sometimes you may think it's not worth it. I mean, I thought about it at one point, and I was like, nah, I'm not. I'm not getting into this. I'm good. If I come across one that I can flip real quick, that's what it is. But collecting, absolutely not. But you guys let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.